This flame war of the century. Between me and my boss, our definitions of word ignore me. You guys are trying way too hard to prove who's right. Laughing my ass, dead fish eyes, sipping crappy coffee, just exchanging pointless reports and that. What are you degenerates doing up so late? Whatever. You're probably just doom scrolling, getting ready to waste another day tomorrow. Same here. Cool. I just had to turn the mic on today because I've got a vent to you lads. I've got to get up early tomorrow and want to sleep. But let me just spit this out first. Before we get into the meat of it, I'm going to give you the too long, didn't read version of what I'm about to dump on you. Don't go crying that it's too long. Number 1. Me, failing to communicate basic logic with my boss and dying a horrible death today. Number 2. This is straight up the theory of relativity, frames of reference, and locked perspectives. Number 3. Treat other people like they're from another dimension. That's the bottom line. We're rolling with these 3 points. Just let it go in one ear and out the other, bros. Alright, let's start with number 1. Me getting absolutely destroyed by my boss's lack of logic. So, it was the first meeting of the morning. You guys know the drill? That heavy as hell Monday morning meeting vibe. Everyone's got dead fish eyes, sipping crappy coffee, just exchanging pointless reports in that literal hellhole. So I give my progress report on the current project. In my head, I'm pacing it perfectly to leave on time without doing any overtime, getting my full weekend off. I figured everything was going smoothly. So I hit him with a smug face and go, everything is proceeding on schedule. Then this boss sitting diagonally across from me pushes up his glasses, and Deadass says, "What? No, you're behind schedule, aren't you?" Nani? What the fuck? In my timeline, I'm getting the work done within regular hours. You're behind schedule? That's just your headcanon, isn't it? I completely froze for a second. I'm saying it's going fine at my pace, and he's saying I'm behind. Who the hell is right here? What do you lads think? Huh? Oh. Press X to doubt. You're just slacking off. That's why you're slow? Yeah, you just proved your brain dead. I knew you degenerates would try to flame me like that. No. I ain't talking about who's more competent or whatever. I'm saying this is the most pointless flame war of the century. Between me and my boss, our definitions of words, our sense of time, nothing matches up. I just despaired, realizing if we kept arguing, it'd just be parallel lines forever. It is what it is, man. Anyway, I'm gonna put my tragic backstory aside for a sec. Here comes part 2. This is straight up the theory of relativity, frames of reference and locked perspectives. Stepping away from the flame war with my boss, let's get a little serious, or rather, abstract. Just drop the emotional baggage and listen. You guys have heard of Galileo or Einstein, right? The physics dudes. They've got concepts like relativity and frames of reference. Clueless normies who don't know this are just gonna get exploited their whole lives, so listen up. I'll dumb it down to a middle school level. Think of a train. Let's say you're on a train blasting along at 100 kilometers an hour. You're bored out of your mind, so you toss a ball straight up in the air inside the train. How does that ball look to you? Obviously, it just goes straight up and falls straight back into your hands. That's because you're inside the frame of reference of the moving train. Now, put yourself in the shoes of some guy standing on the station platform, watching that speeding train from the outside. To him, the ball tossed inside the train window doesn't look like it's just going up and down. Because the train itself is moving forward, the ball looks like it's flying diagonally up and diagonally down. Basically, it looks like it's moving in parabola. The correlation here is an absolute unit. We're looking at the exact same ball moving, but to the guy inside the train and the guy on the platform, the movement looks completely different. This is going to be on the test, lads. Every observation, every judgment changes depending on where the observer is, meaning what frame of reference they're in. Absolute truth or absolute evaluation just doesn't exist. Humans only see what they want to see. We're creatures that subconsciously take our own centered position and standards and assume This is the common sense of the world. Going back to the train analogy, it's like completely forgetting you're inside a train and raging like the ball is definitely moving straight up and down. Anyone saying it looks like a parabola from the outside is brain dead. Laughing my ass off. He's seated. Hilarious, right? Setting my story aside for a bit, don't you think this applies to human relationships in general? Misunderstandings and clashes in relationships, or conflicts between departments in an organization. For some evaluation or number, one guy says it's an absolute unit, and another says it's trash. This all happens because their frames of reference are different. Everyone fully believes their own perspective and values are objective and universal. They think they're the one standing on the absolutely stationary platform, and the other guy is the one riding the crazy train. Their perspective is locked in. But this might go against your intuition, but this is reality. Your own values are just one of many interpretations spawned by your frame of reference, where you stand, the environment you're in. The other guy has his own frame of reference, and in his timeline, things look different. So if you keep obsessing over being absolutely right, communication is just going to be parallel lines forever. You ain't going to spawn any empathy or whatever. Here's the important part. Before you evaluate something or flame someone, stop for a second and try intentionally switching your frame of reference. Think, if I were in the other guy's shoes in his frame of reference, how would this situation look? I know what you degenerates are thinking. You're probably scoffing, like, oh yeah. Put yourself in others' shoes. Is this a freaking elementary school moral lesson? Wrong. I ain't sprouting sunshine and rainbows here. So that brings us to the final, third point. Treat other people like they're from another dimension. That's the conclusion. Ultimately, if we force the previous talk onto my boss and me, we're just standing in different places. I'm looking at things from the frame of reference of a regular employee, where leaving exactly on time is the supreme law. Meanwhile, the boss is looking at me from a different frame of reference as management, a vortex of costs, deadlines, and pressure from the higher-up. We both believe the view we're seeing is objective reality. No shit, we don't click. To me, the boss is brain dead, and to the boss, I'm just clueless. People really love stories that suit their own narratives. But don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say some vomit-inducing shit like, let's fully understand the boss's frame of reference, deeply empathize, and meet halfway. It's impossible. There's zero chance our perspectives will ever completely align. Because you think you and the other guy are seeing the same view, that you're the same type of human, you get pissed off and suffer, thinking, why won't you understand? So, the conclusion is simple. Just think of the other person as a monster from another dimension, operating on completely different laws of physics. Understanding their perspective or frame of reference isn't about becoming friends. It's a tool for giving up, realizing, this guy lives in a different universe than me. He lives in a parabola world. I'm gonna live in a straight line world. Good game. Just cut them off in your mind. Think like that, you won't even feel any pointless anger. You can't change someone else's brain anyway, so separate what you can change from what you can't. As long as you're having a flame war on the level of who's right or wrong, you're a second-rate normie. You guys are trying way too hard to prove who's right. Laughing my ass off. So basically, we're all just living in our own separate universes. Now that's what I call educational. Just look at them with mild pity, thinking, wow, there really are brain-dead goobers out there forcing their own rules on everyone. Soak in that superiority complex, feeling like you're still better off, and just half-ass your way through tomorrow, too. Alright, that's it for today. Talk too much. My throat's dry. For the rest, just go read a wiki or something and look it up yourselves. Don't ask me for more details, cause I don't know. Source. Just trust me, bro, and some random internet knowledge. If any of you degenerates heard this and thought you want to hear more of my blessed rants, subscribe to the channel and use it as fuel for tomorrow. If you forget to subscribe, just go spend the rest of your life kissing your boss's ass, burning yourself out, believing there's some absolute correct answer. Alright then, stream's over. I'm going to sleep. Oh, right, next time I'll be explaining the etymological fallacy. You lads will probably be bored tomorrow anyway, so come listen. See ya.